or
I
something?
went on Facebook. I also went on Twitter, and I asked people what their process was like getting Star Wars tickets. Because if you were one of the people trying to get them, or if you had a friend trying to get them, you noticed that pretty much Fandango, Movie Phone, every single ticket buying website crashed. So a lot of people had different experiences. I was refreshing like mad because we're here in San Francisco. They're opening up an Alamo Draft House, and the first movie that's ever going to be shown there is Star Wars Episode 7 on opening night. So I had to make sure to get tickets for Max and I and our significant others so they can sit there and watch us weep like grown man babies, and they shake their heads and go, what are we doing with our lives?
Yeah.
But also, there was a caravan of people going to IGN the next day, and we didn't get in on that one. And I said, you know what? I want to see this movie twice in 24 hours. And everyone's leaving work early to see Star Wars, and Max and I aren't. We're probably the biggest Star Wars fans in the office. So I said, I'm going to get more tickets. So I kept refreshing and refreshing and refreshing, and it didn't work. And it turned out to be 12:30. It was midnight, and I'm in bed, and I kiss my wife goodnight, and she says, I love you. I say, I love you, honey, and I roll over, and I grab my phone. And she goes, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm going to try one more time to get those Star Wars tickets. So I hit refresh, and finally, they come up. I see 2 seats off to the side, the 3:30 afternoon showing at the Alamo Draft House. Less than 12 hours after we'll have seen it right before. Tickets popped up. I grabbed my credit card, put it in, and put my phone down and started clapping and cheering. And my wife woke up and she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I got more Star Wars tickets. And she was like, I can't see the movie twice in 12 hours. And I said, I can. And I kissed her goodnight. So a lot of people weren't that lucky. We went on the internet and we asked you what your experience was like. Adam Green here. We'll start with an easy one. He said, easy. Took no time. I bought 3 tickets for 3 showings. Go ahead and mock me. Absolutely not. Nope. We are the last people on Earth.
The only reason I'm not seeing it more than twice in 24 hours or in that weekend is I'm actually flying to Vietnam on the 19th.
Yep.
And I had a similar kind of going to bed with my fiance kind of thing where I was like, hey, Brian got us tickets to go see it on that Friday on the 18th, and she's like, we're flying to another country that day. You can't go to that. And I was like, I thought we were leaving on Saturday. And I rolled over and checked my phone. I'm like, Saturday's the 19th. Went to bed.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to see Star Wars.
What else we got?
Girlfriends. All right. Eric Sayre says, I spent 1 hour refreshing the same page, telling my email wasn't valid, and trying different email addresses. The site crashed on me 3 times. Finally got my tickets from a theater 1 hour drive away, but I regret nothing. Hell
yeah.
Yes.
An hour drive, no big deal.
Zach Covemaker says, I manage a movie theater. Boo! Cheater! We had people in our lobby the second they went on sale. Not even an exaggeration. Our GM radioed and we sold tickets. There was a kid, probably 3 or 4, wearing a Darth Vader hoodie who let out the most excited scream when he saw our Star Wars post in the lobby.
God,
seriously,
awesome.
one of the most touching things I've seen in a long time. Hell yeah,
So
man.
I actually read this from a lot of people that they were going to the theater to just circumvent the entire online process. Eric Goldman, who's one of our entertainment editors in LA. Hi, Eric. He actually went from theater to theater in real life, in person, like a human being. Somebody actually did a tweet the other day that was showing people buying tickets for the new Star Wars movie, and it was just a woman on her laptop, versus people buying tickets for the Star Wars in the 70s, and there was a sign up that said, like, the greatest movie of all time, and no one had even seen it yet, and there was an actual physical line down the block. So I think that's really awesome. The people are still going out there and just banging on doors, getting the theater doors open.
Yeah, they probably hate it if you go to the movie theater and bang on the door. They're like, no, you pull it. You have to pull it to open it.
Richard Scott says, tried to get tickets for the UK's biggest IMAX screen, didn't go too well. Their website crashed and I contemplated making the 45-minute journey there to secure myself some expensive-ass midnight viewing goodness. Then I decided to stay in bed and just book tickets for another cinema, where the guy on the phone totally lied to me about which seats I'd get in and put me in the second row. So excited for that sore neck.
Yeah.
There's a seat in every theater that I've only had to sit in one time in my entire life, and that was for the first Transformers movie. I got there late. There's a seat in the front row, all the way to the right, where you have to watch a movie.
Oh God,
like that.
Oh God, that's how I saw Avengers. That was the worst. That was the worst. That was
and
real
Transformers
bad.
is like already, and I think any movie really, but a big action movie like that is disorienting from that angle. So to sit there like that and walk out, and you like, it was 24 hours afterwards where people were like, "How's Transformers?" And I was like, "It was good." It was great.
What is?
It's
Why
tough.
do they have those seats?
You know what I wanted to do?
You can't see the film. You cannot see the screen. It doesn't work.
My pitch is that we find the guy that invented that seat, and we make him sit in that seat on a 17-hour flight to New Zealand, where he has to only watch Transformers
Fair
movies.
enough. Alex Schoenborn said, painless because my parents own a movie theater.
Oh, you got to one up. That is not fair. That is absolutely not fair. Do what you got to do, man.
Rory Stark says, I bought a ticket for myself and had no problems other than the crippling depression and loneliness. That's why we have Star Wars.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how you get out of the real life and put away your feelings, bury them, read about Boba Fett in books.
Don't bury your feelings. They tell you not to do that in Star Wars.
Freeze them in carbonite. Aaron Hendricks says, I want to go buy tickets. I woke up in a tub full of ice and a scar on my lower back.
It's an old trick. One theater in every town will actually steal your small intestine for trying to get tickets.
If you have a single raw egg with a dash of horseradish on top of it, that's a great cure for a stolen liver, I think.
That's right.
What
Shove
else
it
we
in
got?
there.
Thomas Faye says, I work in a theater, so beep, all of you for making me work past midnight. Boo!
I wanted to throw that in there just to show people the alternate side of what, every time there's a Black Friday, every time there's a midnight launch, there are people that have to work those things. So shout out to those soldiers. They don't really get to see movies early or get to see them advanced screenings or anything like that.
Yes,
they
they
just,
do.
well, they do. But they have to work. So shout out to you. If you're working retail, I used to do that. Max used to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is it's a tough place to be. So thank you for keeping the world alive and keeping Star Wars hype and energy.
Also, if you work
Force
retail
heavy
and have
forever.
friends at the movie theater, do that weird trade thing where you use your employee discount for free screenings and stuff like that.
Yep.
I sold the manager of my local movie theater a copy of Hell Comes to Frogtown on DVD when I worked at Tower Records, and he flipped me this random token that said, good for one screening, and I was like, what's this? He's like, me and the boys, we're doing an advanced screening of King Kong. If you want to come by Tuesday night, I was like, hell yes!